Good evening. So my name is Angus Fraser. I'm the Group Chief Technology Officer at C5 Alliance. And I'm here today because what you might not know is that aside from our 180 professional and managed services employees, we also have an innovation strategy which involves investing in time, effort, marketing, in products that we believe in. For example, Bluepoint that you've just seen. And we met Sam about 6 months ago, and first thing we thought was, well, we want to hire him because he's a smart guy and we liked him. But the second thing we really liked was that he's got a great product, and the product is PlainSail. And what we realised is that the market was actually ripe for disruption. We've worked in the finance sector for a long time. C5 Alliance has been helping our financial services clients, and we've never really seen software that works in the way that PlainSail works. Just like Google didn't invent search, they just did a better job. And just like Apple didn't invent the tablet, they just did a better job. We think PlainSail is doing a better job of managing financial services, clients, documents, and so on. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Sam and let him give you a tour of the product. It's a big product, so he's just going to give you the highlights. So on you go, Sam.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so PlainSail is for wealth managers, trust and corporate service providers, legal firms, and other businesses in that domain. So as Angus has said, PlainSail is documents, onboarding, clients, bookkeeping, timekeeping, and other features. So you probably look at those and say, well, we already have a document management system, we already have onboarding, we already have a system that manages our clients, etc. But we have a very different approach to how we've designed the interface for users to work with, which we think makes it much faster. So don't worry, this isn't one of those presentations where I'm going to show you massive diagrams with tiny little fonts. But what I wanted to do was just show you how a system like this, as a core system, quickly becomes very complicated with loads of features. And if it's not properly designed, it becomes very difficult for systems to evolve to new requirements. So this might be a very extreme case, but people really do have to work with applications that start to look like this at work. So what we wanted to do is actually take that and make something very clear, clean, and relevant to the individual user that's using it. So, so PlainSail is very clean, modern user experience, and as I already said, users just see the information relevant to them. So for example, if you're a bookkeeper, you're interested in seeing bookkeeping data, and you don't want to necessarily see what a compliance person may want to. So I'm going to give you a very quick overview of PlainSail, but not go into too much detail on the features, but just so you can get a look and feel of the application. So I'll start by showing you a dashboard for a user. So this is what a user would see in the morning. So I'm a member of the compliance team, so I can see clearly how much CDD we're missing across our organization, any documents that require my approval. For example, if somebody circulated minutes for me to sign, so I can just click on that, electronically sign them, and approve them. Because the majority of our customers, or potential customers, would use Microsoft Office, PlainSail is very tightly integrated. So for example, you can see incoming emails, mark them as read, delete them. You can open Outlook tasks, etc. Also, PlainSail has a built-in notification center which shows you relevant notifications depending on which role you have. For example, if you're in the bookkeeping department, you could receive notifications that a client account needs reconciling. You can then just click on that, it will take you straight to it, you can complete it, and then get back to what you're doing. So we've worked on quite a lot of the little small things that people do a lot during the day. So for example, you might want to enter a client note, and normally you'd be doing this when you're working on something, so you don't want to have to go to the client page, input a note. So we've made this available in the Action Center, so you can just quickly select the client you want, put a note, and then that'll be on the profile page of the client. So this is a user profile in PlainSail. So as I've just said, certain things that is what you want to do. One of those is definitely timekeeping. So you certainly don't want to go out of the system that you work on all day and then go into a timekeeping system when you're having to do this once an hour. So we've put this in the bottom corner so you can quickly get to it, input time, and PlainSail will work out which client you've been recently working on and put that there ready for you. So these little things really do save time on the whole day. PlainSail will then give you an overview of where you're spending your time and whether you're or not you're meeting your chargeable targets for that week. So PlainSail also has an internal messaging system to avoid emails. So depending on your role within the organization, you'll receive personalized notifications which PlainSail thinks are useful to you. So for example, if you're in compliance, PlainSail will tell you it's identified that somebody needs standard CDD. So it might want to tell you that, and then you can then take action. There's then a clear audit trail of who was notified and if they read it. So PlainSail also has a built-in calendar system, which is across all clients. So a person can see all of the clients they administer, and on an admin level, they can see all of the tasks they need to do that for that day. Okay, so the main thing about PlainSail is managing clients. So we've really done a lot of work on how we could make this really quick for you to navigate between clients, view all of the data, so you're not having to go from one system to the other. So I take a simple scenario, which would be to look at a trust and say, I want to view all of the correspondence for the beneficiaries of that trust. In PlainSail, that would take you 10 seconds, but that could take a long time in some of the systems people have to use. So we've put a sidebar at the left here so you can quickly see clients you've recently worked on. You can favorite clients if you work on them a lot, or PlainSail will even suggest you clients that you may want to move on to next. So for example, if you're looking at a company, it may be logical that you want to then move on to directors and look at their documents or their data. So this is a profile page in PlainSail. In this example, this is a company. So I can see its statutory data, any notes about it, and I can also see recent activity. So in PlainSail, we keep a very detailed audit trail of everything that happens to an entity. So this could be documents saved, bookkeeping transactions, everything. So if somebody changes a piece of information, you can quickly see what it was. I'll show you in more detail afterwards. Also, as I said, we have an onboarding process, which I'm not going to go into too much detail now, but you can clearly, for example, a person, you can clearly see that PlainSail recognize that there's address verification missing, and every other user that looks at that can clearly see that. So PlainSail also has a relationship management system, which is quite typical of these kind of systems. But for example, if I'm looking at a company, I can see who the directors are, if somebody has power of attorney, etc. So as PlainSail is very integrated, you can just, if you're on a client, you can click documents. It'll then pull in all of the documents that are there for that client. So if somebody uses a different document system, it's been designed to interface with those systems as well. So this kind of little things make it very quick to move around rather than going from one system to the other. So there's also contact management, and as I said before, it's very tightly integrated with Outlook. So for example, if a client's maybe part of a big structure, it may be very difficult to find an email that somebody could have saved to multiple different companies. But because it's integrated, you can just click from or to on an email address, and it will show you all of the emails that have been saved to PlainSail. So as I said before, there's a very detailed audit trail in PlainSail. So we didn't want to show that to the user in a really complicated grid or expect them to have to go to IT to find what the previous value was. So users can very quickly go onto a timeline of a client and see every single change, every single significant action, and very quickly filter it to find what the previous values were. So we believe PlainSail is very simple to use, but we wanted to make it even simpler. So we've developed a feature called Locations, which allows you to navigate to every single page within PlainSail and find key bits of information very quickly with just using the keyboard. So for example, you could just press Control F, and then you can start typing, and PlainSail will start making suggestions of what it thinks you might be looking for. So for example, if I type in dashboard, it will take me to my dashboard. If I type in my week, PlainSail will recognize that you're probably looking to submit your timesheet week and take you to that. You can then submit that. And then search for something else. So for example, I could type docs for Angus, and that will then recognize that I want to look for documents for Angus. That's before Angus's haircut.
Yeah, that was a few years ago, so yeah.
Before the breakup.
Or for example, TB for Beechwood Limited. PlainSail will work out that you're most likely looking to look at the trial balance for Beechwood Limited and take you straight there. So we believe these kind of tools will make a really big difference on somebody's day-to-day work. And that's really just the beginning, but we've got a lot of things that we're putting into version 2 that we hope to show you next time. So yeah, thank you for listening.